What is going on, everybody? Have another episode today. We have another live show coming for you. Today I have Joe back here with me again,
Hey,
and he is Mr. Lay Off the Juice now. That is his actual Twitter handle, X, whatever you want to call it now. So actually, you can find him there. He actually will be starting to put out plays there. Um, so yeah, everybody definitely going to actually give him a follow. Um, while I'm trying to get this show sent out, Joe, how how are actually you doing, man?
man, I'm doing great. I had a lot of leans yesterday. With this trade deadline, I'm not really just throwing a bank at anything, right? I'm just laying pizza money down here and there. That's how I like to think of it. Like I like to tell people, like, hey, just bet a couple Starbucks on this crazy parlay. It may or may not hit, but just bankroll management has been my real big thing. Like this past 6 months, I've been diving deeper and deeper into like return on investment. Like that's
Oh
the
yeah,
whole reason you're betting, right? You're
yep.
betting so that you can take money out, have something to enjoy, right? So my thought process is, like I said, weekly withdrawals or bi-weekly withdrawals. Like make it the opposite of your normal payday. Like I'm not, I don't know, just what I mean is enjoy something. If you just pull it out 20 bucks, you can buy a pizza.
Right.
Make your efforts worth it. Like make it worth it because that free pizza is gonna be enough to keep you going. It's a marathon, not a sprint. Like
That is the truth. That is the truth. All right, I got all the links sent out here. We should have some people starting to come in here. Let's see. Already got Josh in there. What's going on, man?
hey,
Not it is nice to have you here as always. Um, Yesterday there was one play that we both, talked out, and we decided, like this is going to be our play of the day. And
yeah,
that was the Hornets plus 11, and that was sweaty.
yeah. It cash, baby.
But it did catch. That's what I was telling you last night, man. It doesn't matter how it does how it happens,
Yeah.
but it definitely happened there. So that was nice. And as far as today goes, we're basically gonna do the same thing. We're gonna go through the slate and we're gonna find a play. As far as myself, I haven't locked in any plays yet. Because all of the trades going on, I just didn't want to lock anything in yet. Um, there are a few plays that I'm close to making, and yeah, we're gonna talk those games out, and we're gonna see what I can lock in, and then I'm sure that Joe has some plays. Um, Joe, like always, as far as props go, Joe like always has some props for us. So
Yeah. I got a couple favorites today, but the line, I think with the show being this late in the evening, I may have to start doing something, dropping them on Twitter earlier in the day so that people can catch the line. Because a lot of the players that I like, they went from plus money to like 160 something. I'm like, dang. Like,
there's a great sign though, definitely a great sign. Just like always, guys, if there's a certain game that you want us to break down, put it in the chat. Um, as far as actually college, I actually like do have some plays there to a day. So if actually there's any type of game that actually you would like to see us break it down, and yeah, we will do it. So let's get started, man. Um, let's just start off, I guess, with the Mavs and the Celtics game. Um, that line just keeps on going up, man. Um, you're up to it looks like up to minus 11 and a half, or either actually minus 12 in actually most spots now. Um, this is one of those that I wasn't even close to like anything on. Um, the Mavs, I believe this is the end of their road trip. Um, I believe this is their fifth actually game. That's not a spot that I really And then as far as the Celtics go, they are off that Cavs win. And the Celtics, to me, this season, this like we actually talked about, is it's been a little bit weird. Whenever they have those big games, or like they have a game they play really well, they haven't really backed it up. That actually next game.
Exactly.
So to me, it's just two sides that as far as this number here, like actually this number is actually just big.
This this doesn't make sense. This spread does not make sense. I have the spread at more so 8.5 Celtics, like, and that scares me a little bit because it's like, yes, Dallas made a ton of trades, but Dallas still has their core, right? Luka's been out for a minute, so we're getting a price as if well, AD's not going to play today, right? It says game time decision, but I doubt he goes. But 10, that's a lot of points, especially when you got a guy named Kyrie Irving who used to play for the Celtics, and Celtics give up a lot of points to the point guard and shooting guard position. So it's like you got a guy named like Kyrie who can go off anytime he feels like it. I mean, yes, Derek Lively's out. Yes, PJ Washington's a game time decision. Like the ESPN injury report looks like a CVS receipt. I stole that from Alpha. But I don't see the Celtics laying 10 points. Yes, they're at home, and in theory, the Celtics can get hot, and all four out of five guys can light up from three, but they haven't done that in a while. And if we're being honest, after a big game, the Celtics always play down the competition. Like, if anything, I would look at a mass first half spread because the Celtics usually come out slow after a big game like that. But I think the only thing that I have in this game would be a Drew Holiday rebound prop, 4 rebounds. He's been pretty solid and consistent. He's a bigger guy. He's bigger than most point guards, right?
Yep.
He plays a ton of minutes. Like I said, most of the big guys for Dallas is out. So, I mean, the ball has to go somewhere. With the total as high as it is, give me a rebound prop, and if I had to force something, but I'm not playing that personally. So the only thing that I do like in that game would be Drew Holiday 4 rebounds. But there's almost no value on it now because it's like minus 150 something now. But it's the only thing I got for this one.
I definitely hear you there. Yeah, for me, like I said, for actually both sides, for me, this is actually not a bet on spot for either team. So for me, it's just easy, just like stay away. And then the line is still moving up. To me, that doesn't make sense. So I can't make sense of it whatsoever. So, like I said, for me, this is just an easy stay away. Let's switch over really quick. Josh wants to hear about the OSU and Maryland game. Man, this is one I don't have a play on. As far as the spread, I think the spread is right on. I had Ohio State. Let me check it. I believe I had them favorite by like one, like I think it was like 1.5. Give me just a second. Yes, 1.7. Looks like the line is 2 or actually 2.5 at most places. So for me, that's either is like right on. Really not seeing any value there. I actually do think yeah, Josh, just like you said, this is like an OSU spot. I was just about to say, like, if I had just like to pick something, that either would actually be it. Also the like over. That's what I was like coming in like to the game wanting to bet. But the number was just already a little bit higher. So actually, like that's what kept me off there. Looks like this total is really ranging. Looks like you can get anywhere from 146 to a 148. So I feel like this is one you definitely need a line shop for because that total's everywhere. But this really feels like it gets into the one like 50s. It actually really does. But like I said, that's your number for me. It just wasn't quite right. There was just enough other games tonight where I just had to pass here. Okay. Now we can get back into the NBA and we can get into your team, man.
That's the Houston Rockets.
Rockets versus the Timberwolves. You know what? I'm actually gonna let you start here.
All right, here we go. I am a Houston homer, and for that reason, I will not be playing the Rockets. I do think they win by 4 or more, but I'm personally gonna watch just because there are more players that I like better than this game. But I think they win easily. Like dropping 2 to the Brooklyn Nets, I mean that's kind of embarrassing. And the last time they played, they let the Brooklyn Nets score 6 points in like 10 seconds, the last 10 seconds of the game. So imagine losing a game like that. I can only assume that they will come out fired up and ready to go, so that it doesn't happen again. But yeah, they've dropped 4 out of the last 5, and they're still favored by like 1, right? So I think the Timberwolves typically play the Rockets pretty well. I'm looking at the head-to-head matchup. The last time they played, it was 113 to 112 Minnesota, 117 to 111 Rockets, and 93 to 83. But that 93 to 83, both teams were on a back-to-back. And then, like I said, I don't like going eons back because you typically have new coaches, new players, new rotations, new roles is the key thing. Amin Thompson, I'm looking at a ton of his props. I don't think you can go wrong with any of his props today because he gets so much playing time. Like he can guard the 1 through 5 position. He's a key player for the Rockets. And then the fact that I think he was the guy that inbound the pass that caused him to lose the game. So I'm definitely looking for him to come out here. And I've seen some guys on the assists, some guys on the assist and rebounds, some guys on the points. There's value in all 3 of those, if you ask me. So I think I would lay at Amin Thompson prop any of those 3 versus taking the Rockets on the money line, which I think they do cover today.
Okay. Well, before I give my breakdown there, comment here. Yeah, Josh, the Magic. Like I said it last night, man. That just felt like such like that's just what they would do in that spot.
Yeah.
And that was just a blowout win. Like that just wasn't even close there. So yeah, that is a very Magic thing to actually do. Then to get to it, really quick, John, do we like Magic plus 6.5? Just very quick on it. We actually will break this game down more. But you could have got a 9 here. So the fact that you could have got a 9 and now you're only getting a 6.5, I mean, like for me, that's a no. Like I'm not like you're on the ass end of that line move. So I mean, no, like I couldn't take that. But we actually will be breaking that game down here in full in just a few minutes. As far as this Rockets game, man, I was like looking back at their last like 5 game stats. I mean, this team has just not been playing good, man. Especially, I've been surprised, but especially on defense. Their actually like defensive rating has been horrible. I forgot. Overall, I think they were ranked like 27th. Like it was something crazy. Like it was actually way worse than actually I had thought.
Yeah, because they typically built their identity this year off of defense. So I'm pretty shocked about that one.
So to me, I was like looking at it and I was like, all right, well maybe this is a Rockets actually like, kind of a bounce back spot here for them finally. Man, but once again, this is another team, man. They've just been on the road. I forgot how many games in a well, they had that one home game. Like actually, like they had that like weird setup there where they were on the road. They came home for the one game and then went right back on the road again.
Okay.
And they're in the midst of actually that now. They've been playing a lot of ball here. I believe this is their actually fourth game in 6 nights. It's actually just been a lot, man. Yeah. So when I was looking at that, and then actually looking as far as their defense goes, um, I was looking at a Timberwolves team total over.
I like that. I like that.
That's actually one of those where, as far as Houston, as far as their offense, if it does like pick up, then fine. I mean, like that's something like actually Houston can like still win the game, but I can still win my bet also. I mean, the team total is actually only at 107. Um,
That's fairly low. They covered that
me,
both times they played.
yeah, yeah. I was actually just about to say that too. It just doesn't make actually much sense to me here, man. Um, so that was like one of those plays that I was close to actually going to actually make that play. Um, so yeah, I mean, what was the exact?
So the first time they matched up was in December. It was 113 to 112 Minnesota. The second the time before that was November 26th. It was 111 to 117 Rockets. But I mean, the Timberwolves, the offense isn't broken. It's just, they bit the dust the last two games out. So they're looking for a win too. And I mean, that's why I said it's a stay away for me because there's some props that I like a whole lot more than this. And then when you mention Tyree Eason, he's out or he's a game time decision, but he's a key piece for the Rockets, man. He's a tall wing that he's an underrated defender. Steven Adams is game time, but we don't really rely on him. But Jabari Smith, he's a ton. He's a 3-and-D guy. And that guy, he has solid 3-point shooting at home. His home and away splits are insane. Like the dude can shoot the skin off the ball. So again, that kind of makes sense. And then with Fred VanVleet being out too, still, it's like he was a facilitator, and I didn't realize how important he
I
was.
was just about to say it's really showing you. I think that's the main one. You're seeing just actually how important he actually is.
Exactly. I didn't think he was that important until I saw the games without him, and I'm like, damn, the ball doesn't move. Like,
right. So, guys, I think that's one that I am going to be adding on as far as actually spread here in the chat, saying, yeah, man, the total is actually that still. So I think I'm going to have to go up and over that one. Send like some people are already asking in the chat. I know John was asking in the chat. Let's actually go to that Magic game.
Okay.
Magic finally had that game where they played well. Yeah, they finally had it now. And honestly, if this number was still 9, I would probably actually like hop on that. But like I said, with everything going on with the trades today, I was not locking anything in. And actually, this number has just gotten beat down.
It has. It has.
My thing is here, as far as Denver, they just don't play defense, man. Like, as far as like, they will literally let anybody score. So this total is actually only 218.5. I know that. So I actually know that this is a Magic game, but they're in Denver, and then the Magic are actually on a back-to-back where they had to travel, and I just don't think that defense is going to travel quite the same way. And I'm just wondering that this like total to me just seems low.
That total is insanely low. It's almost trappy low.
That's what it feels like.
But I'm willing to lay 7 with Denver. Denver doesn't like it's easier. It's easier to not play defense where your offense is putting up 144, right?
Exactly.
Like your offense is so good and fluent that it makes up for your lack of defense. You give me a halfway rested team. Denver's going back home. They're used to that altitude, right? Yep. Whereas Orlando's not. Like Orlando, bright sunny weather. Then you're on a back-to-back going to Denver, where it's still probably cold because it's February, and then you're dealing with altitude. Like those legs get tired. And if you look at the box score, the key thing that I want to pull away from that, all the starters had well over 25 minutes for the most part. So it's like those guys played a long game yesterday, and it started off close. It really did. And it wasn't until like the third quarter, maybe fourth quarter, where they started pulling away. And I mean, Sacramento just couldn't put it together for 4 quarters, I guess.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm willing to lay 7 with Denver. Like that line movement makes zero sense to me. Um, so I'm willing to lay 7 with Denver.
Okay.
But again, one of the reasons I didn't bet it was because of the trade deadline and Michael Porter Jr. He was in every trade rumor tweet all across. And I think yesterday they must have whispered in his ear, "You're not going anywhere," because he made the comment. He was like, "It feels good to be somewhere where you want it." So I'm like, okay. So somebody must have said something to him. So now I'm willing to back Denver or the total. I'm not 100% sure yet, but I like both. I really don't understand why their total's that low.
I was about to say, man, this total just, I I just can't figure out why it's quite this low. And actually, it's been bet down. It started out at actually 21. So it hasn't been like a huge move, but it has moved down though. And Denver is one of the best over teams. They actually might be the best. Um,
Here, I can pull it up
on
too.
on the season, they are 31-19 to the over.
Yeah.
At actually home, they're actually 16-8. And actually, usually their totals are in like the 240 to actually like to actually like 245 range.
Right.
Just so everything like I said, man, this is another one of those where I'm close to pulling the trigger on the over here.
Yeah, Denver's last 5 games, they hung up 144, 125. Take those two with a grain of salt because it was the Pelicans, right? Then 107 to Charlotte, 137 to Philadelphia 76ers.
Okay,
Then,
hey, hang on. You said to the Charlotte Hornets.
Yeah.
They actually lit up how much?
107.
107. Okay. Well, we need them. Well, we need the Magic just to get to base like 100 points here, and actually, this game is going to go over.
Exactly.
Right?
Exactly. Right? The lowest the Nuggets have scored in the past 5 games is 107.
So that's what I'm saying. I don't
understand why it's that low.
I don't understand it.
I may live bet it just being scared. Like just wait till like, first couple possessions and let that line move down by like a point or two and then take it. But they must know something I don't.
Right. All right, man. Let's move on to the Warriors and the Lakers game. These are some teams that have definitely made some moves.
Jimmy Buckets.
Definitely made some moves. But for me in this game, I mean, the Lakers have been playing good, man.
Yes.
They've been like putting up some points. They've been playing some good ball here. To me, they are the rested team. They're playing well, and they've also made all these trades. And like, I just feel like the locker room, the vibes are just so good there.
Yep.
Then the Warriors played in Utah last night, which they lost to the Utah Jazz.
Remember I told you that could happen?
Yep. Yep. And then they're leaving there, coming back here. So, I mean, the Lakers just, as far as every actually like advantage goes, I really think they actually have it here. I'm more so looking at the total though. The like Lakers, if you've noticed, like actually ever since they've like started playing actually like
team
smaller, that and like smaller, they're actually like tending to run more now.
Well, it's easier to put up points if you're scoring in the paint.
Right.
High percentage, man. They're pushing the pace, dishing the ball all the way down the court. Like they're making the game easy. So I mean, it's hard to not like it.
So for me, this is one where I have this total in the more like 227 range. I can still get it at actually 222 and a half. So actually, this was one of those plays that like I said, I was really close to go ahead and making this an actual play here. I just don't think the books have like caught up with how fast they're actually playing now.
Right. Because that is recent. That's new.
Yes.
One of the things, it's addition by subtraction, if you ask me. AD is a great player, but before the AD trade, their offense was too concentrated with AD. It was too much. Okay, we got to get AD going. We got to feed him the ball. We got to do this. We got to do that. And then at the last minute in fourth quarter, they're trying to rely on Bron to be Superman. That doesn't work. They got rid of AD and they said, hey, we got 4 other players on the court. Everybody can put the ball in the hole. I seen a ton of people on Rui Hachimura, like 15 points today because it was plus money for a while. But I'm like, Rui always lets me down. When I bet on him, he doesn't do it. When I don't bet on him, he slams the word and drops 25. But the Warriors play good defense, but they just traded, in my opinion, their best defensive player in Andrew Wiggins to Miami, right? They did get Jimmy Buckets, but I doubt he plays today. So, yeah, I just don't see the Warriors as and then they played a ton of minutes last night. I had the Steph Curry under that looked so good until Steph Curry turned in Steph Curry with like 4 minutes left, 17. Like, dude, really? But yeah, I don't think I think the total, I will look at a Lakers team total over.
I was about to say, man, the Lakers, since like I said, since things have changed here, they've scored 134, 128, and actually then 122. And actually that game, that actually last game, they probably would have scored more, but that game just wasn't even close.
They pulled the starters out. Like they didn't have to put the starters in the fourth. And I think that's what Bron's been doing. He's been running up the score just so that Bronny can get some minutes. It's a good problem to have.
So you can get their full game team total at actually 114 and a half.
Yeah, I think I'm gonna take that.
To me, yes. Now that I'm thinking about this more, I think I like that better than the full game over.
I just don't know what the Warriors are gonna do. Like they traded away a lot of players. Steph has been on and off from 3. He's actually been I think the worst percentage-wise shooter on the Warriors right now, which is something you can rarely ever say about Steph. That Brandon Podziemski guy, his 3-point prop over 1.5 threes. That's one of my favorite props. I laced that up with another play inside of a parlay. But
okay.
I have Steph Curry over 5.5 assists, and I have the Brandon Podziemski guy over 1.5 3-pointers made, and you could get that for like plus 230. So that's
nice
for that one.
There's some nice odds there. Well, man, let's just go on down the board here.
Keep it going.
This is a team that we've been talking about a lot. The Kings and the Blazers, man.
There we go. My favorite play today.
Man, Blazers. We've been talking about them for the past couple weeks.
Yes.
We have been on them. We've been riding them. I actually played a couple first half plays actually with them actually last week. Those like also cashed. Like they've just been a cash cow, man.
Yeah.
And now you have them here. They are at home versus this Kings team.
Still trying to put it together.
That just got beat last night, and exactly just actually like what we had talked about. It's going to take a little time here.
Exactly.
But now you have the Kings as the actual 1-point favorite here. The actual Blazers started out as actually the favorite, and I was like, and that had me looking at it, I was like, okay, well, all these games that we've been betting them, they've actually been the actual underdog every single time. And I was thinking, I was like, well, damn, this is going to be the first time that we bet them as an actual favorite. But now, as the days gone on, they're not the favorite now.
I'm okay with that.
And it's like,
man, I'm gonna keep riding it till it fall off.
exactly. I'm like, this is one of those things where this is how I play things in actually every sport. As long as you're on one of these trends, as long as you've been on it, like you've been cashing, like you didn't jump in late, and when you were there from the actual start and kept riding it, they have to, or whatever it is, whatever type of play it is, an over, a team, whatever it is, for me to jump off of it, it actually has to lose twice.
Okay.
That's just kind of a little rule. That's just something like I like personally do. Not sure. Like I said, if you haven't been actually riding them, this is honestly a game where I would just stay away from.
I have been riding the Blazers for about 2 weeks, and I finally said something in the chat. What was it, about a week ago or so? Like, I've been cashing plus 182, plus 162.
Yeah.
I'm like, dude, this team, like, I've watched them, and the eyeball test, they're playing team ball. They're coached up well. They're bought into it. And you give me them versus at home versus a Kings team that just got thrown together with some guys out of 24-hour fitness. Like, yeah, listen, I'm going to keep riding until it falls. Like, I don't see why to jump off ship. They're 9 of their last 10 straight up. So, like, why would I get off now? Like, the Kings, they did not look good. What was that the other day? Like, they looked good a little bit in the first half, but yeah, no, that chemistry is not there. It usually takes about, in my opinion, it takes at least a week, maybe 2, for them to gel. Like, those guys haven't practiced together. They literally went from, okay, I live in Chicago to now I play for the Sacramento Kings. You still got to find a house. You got to, move your spouse, get the dog ready. You got to do all the life has to happen.
Yep.
Then you get settled in. This line is acting like those guys been together since like opening season, and that's not the case. So, I mean, dude, the Portland Trailblazers, it's not like they're beating bums. Like, in their last 5 games, they've beaten the Pacers, they beat the Suns twice outright, they beat Orlando, and they beat the Bucks outright. Dude, I've been riding them for a minute. I started riding them when they played OKC, and they gave OKC hell, and they had a healthy roster. They lost by 10, and I'm like, wait a minute. These guys are actually good now. Then I look at the beginning of the season, and I'm like, so their record says that they're worse than what they really are, because a lot of guys were hurt at the beginning of the season. And now these guys are coming back from injury, and they're putting it together, and it's like, okay, Mr. Scoot Henderson, I see you. Like, DeAndre Ayton, quiet as kept. The dude's been balling. Like, that's my favorite prop today. You get DeAndre Ayton right now, 18 points, plus 109. I'm going to keep riding him. He's been dropping 20s the last couple weeks. He's undervalued, in my opinion. Yeah.
Well, then, Josh, to answer you, that's going to be a no. We are not going to fade them. Definitely not. All right, so as far as the NBA slate, let's actually go to the last game here. Clippers are hosting the Pacers. The Clippers, I've liked what I've seen from actually them. They actually did have to go on the road there, and now I think this is going to be their second game actually back home. This definitely seemed like a Clippers spot to actually me. This line has gone down. Didn't they make a trade this afternoon?
Yeah, they got rid of Bones Highland and somebody else for Bogdanovich.
That's right. Right.
They got an extra 3-point shooter. I think that was more of a, we don't want to hold you guys back, go flourish somewhere else. I don't really see it as an addition by subtraction because those guys were quiet. I didn't really hear about the drama. So I just think that it wasn't a good fit because they had a lot of guys that did the exact same role. Like, you need some diversity in your bench if you're going to have that depth. So that's what I really think happened. the Clippers are coming off of an embarrassing loss to the Lakers.
Yeah.
I honestly don't see. I'm not bought into the Pacers. So I mean, if you're gonna give me the Clippers -4.5, I'm gonna lay it. Yeah, it's probably the only thing I have for this one.
I was about to say, yeah, like that was my like initial thought. It's definitely either that or either actually pass for like me. This is one of those games where I am gonna pass though, just because some of these other plays that we've actually gone over, I definitely like them more. And tonight's just not a night where I'm trying to have a lot of plays.
Exactly.
I'm definitely trying to narrow it down here. So with saying that, man, do you have a play that actually we've like gone over that actually kind of stands out?
Uh, just looking at it now, I would take Norman Powell. Like the guy's been fairly consistent over points. It's at 22.5 for -113. Like if I had to make a play on that game, because that Lakers game was an embarrassment. And this guy, in his mind, feels like he should be an all-star, right? So if you look at it, his last 5 games, he's averaged 26 points. Coming off of an embarrassing loss, I don't see how that falls. So I guess
That makes sense. That makes sense. Chat, we are going to figure out an actual play of the day. If you have any other questions about any other games, go ahead and drop them now. And yeah, we're gonna figure this out, man. Um, here's what I'm thinking about actually playing here. Um, you have the Timberwolves team total over. The Magic and the National Nuggets game full game over. Then you
okay.
have the Lakers team total over,
That one.
and actually then you have the actually like Blazers. So those are the ones that I'm looking at. As far as those team totals, I honestly really like both of those. Um, when we talked it out, that like Lakers one
I
to
like that.
me made a lot of sense.
Yep. Yep.
So as actually as long as you're down with that one, I actually think like that should be our play.
Let's do it. That's it. Because if you think about it, LeBron still feels some type of way about Steph Curry saying he doesn't want LeBron on his team. So I mean, it's things like that. He has a history of not letting stuff go. I know
Right.
that's like a small thing, but it's like my team's rocking and rolling. I'm, getting ready to play Golden State. Golden State is still that brand, the name Golden State. It's like we need to get this win before Jimmy Buckets gets in here and try to give us a little trouble. And then you factor in Andrew Wiggins is gone. It's like I honestly don't see anybody slowing down anybody, if we're being honest. Draymond,
Right.
in my opinion, excuse me, he's a step or two slower than he used to be. He still has the vision. He can still dish off dimes, but from a defensive standpoint, Draymond, I used to be really, really high on Draymond. He's no. And if you think about it, I was looking at the ESPN show today about the trade deadline. They broke down the Warriors salary cap and how much money all the players are getting, and that they at this current moment they don't have enough to keep Jonathan Kuminga. So it's almost like they're saying this is the end of the road for the Warriors as we know it, like, or they're gonna have to let go of Draymond. So that's because it was like Jimmy Buckets was at 48, he's gonna go to 54 next year. Steph is already at 30 plus, close to 40. Draymond is up there, so it's like they don't have enough. Like they're like 10 million away from the luxury tax. So from a number standpoint, they're gonna have to win this year or blow it all up. So or get rid of Draymond. And I think he can see the light at the end of the tunnel. And I don't know. I actually thought he was gonna get traded to the Lakers. That was my barbershop talk. Because I was like, dude, like something drastic is gonna happen. And it ended up being Luka being the drastic thing. I I did not see that coming, but I knew something was coming because it was too quiet on Twitter, so or X, whatever y'all call it.
And yeah, Josh, to answer your question here, the answer for actually me is yes. I actually would, especially on a team like actually Golden State with the guys that he's going to be around now.
Yeah,
he's actually not going to act like that. Yeah, as far as just everything that you've seen with the Heat, I actually don't think that we see that now.
but I guess what were the things that we saw, right? Like everything is like the media shapes everything that we see, right? And in my opinion, what we know about Jimmy Buckets is he's a hard worker, he busts his ass, and we also know that he's standing on his principles. Like there's not too many guys that would lose 40, 50 million just to sit out, right?
Yep.
So to me, that meant he didn't give a damn about the money. He wanted out. And Pat Riley was just as stubborn. So like too often, I feel like as people outside, we place too much emphasis on the player without, we always get a benefit of the doubt to the owners versus the player. Now, in my opinion, yes, he did. When he wants out, he goes about it the absolute wrong way. I'm not justifying that.
Yeah.
The way he quit on Minnesota was like, yo, what? Like, yeah. So he does quit his way out, but I mean, that's who he is. Like, he is who he is. You know who you're gonna get. The Warriors we have to win now, or that's it. Like,
exactly.
I would want him on my team because I know what I'm gonna get. Not too many guys driven off principle these days. So
100%. Well, guys, today, as far as our show play of the day is going to be the Lakers team total over 114.5. You can get that at FanDuel currently at actually minus 110. As far as Bovada, they actually have a 114 flat. But you're actually going to have to be paying the juice on that. And actually, like, I would just rather not.
I'd take the alt line up. I'd bump it up to 115, 116. Like I really like this one.
That makes a lot more sense. And then before we actually get out of here, guys, tomorrow at noon, we have our regular Friday football show. It's our last one of the season. It's going to be a big show. We're going to have the whole entire crew there. It's going to be a packed show, but it should be a lot of fun. So yeah, definitely do not miss out on actually that. Then also remember to follow Joe. You can see his actually like Twitter handle is actually posted there. Definitely make sure to follow him. He is actually going to start actually like posting plays there and like stuff like that. But yeah, I appreciate y'all. Today looks like it's been our largest show yet. It seems like every day the show's starting to grow and grow. So that's great. And yeah, this is something that we're just going to keep on doing. So yeah, Joe, do you have anything else?
Yeah. So if you follow me, I'm going to lay plays for free for a while. Like I understand, like I'm not asking anybody for any donations, no contributions, none of that. It's just, hey, let's fucking win. Like I want to let you guys see what I do, see the results. And then, maybe a year from now or so, I'll put a tip jar out there or something. But for now, they're all free. I do plan on posting plays tomorrow. Make it at the first day.
Awesome, man. That sounds great. And yeah, with that, we're gonna be out. And actually, just like Joe said, let's fucking win.
Let's fucking win, baby.